Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Go Goddess. We have a very special treat for you today, all the way from the Gold Coast, Australia, Magic Melanie Young.
Thank you, Tara. It's great to be here.
Hi, Mel. So good to have you. I'm so excited to get to share your story with the masses today because it's such a good one.
Yeah, I've got lots of them, just like we all do. We all have lots of stories. So, yeah, no, happy to share a couple with them, with you and your viewers here today. No problem.
Yeah, it's going to be good because, how we met is a fun story. So hopefully the viewers can connect just like you and I have over the internet.
Absolutely.
And to that story sharing, that power of sharing, each other's stories and each other's visions for the future, but also the struggles through the past, I think have really unified us as well. And you have been such an inspiration to me and everything that you're doing. So, without further ado, I think what I really want to help people learn today is how they too can feel great, be happy, have it all, whatever that means, and vibe up their life with you.
Perfect. That's what my life's all about, Tara. So, yeah, my story started back a long time ago in my 20s when I was in a very unpleasant relationship, and I'm sure a lot of your female viewers will be able to relate to this, where I had a lot of abuse in my past, and I didn't know how to get out of that situation. So I used to say to myself on a regular basis, if only I could get really, really sick and nearly die, he'll stop treating me this way. And long story short, I ended up giving myself cancer. And I was in my late 20s, and I created it in my throat, in my thyroid. And that was my out eventually from that relationship. But I did have to go and have a complete thyroidectomy as part of that process, because I didn't have the tools and techniques that I have today and the understanding back then as to how we create our life by our thoughts and our feelings. So that was really the catalyst for me. That was my wake up call to get me onto the path that I've been on ever since, to really start to realize, oh my gosh, I did that to myself, and the power of our thoughts and in creating our realities. So I guess that was the real start for me. I'm a little bit of a slow learner though, because I went and did something equally as impressive, let's say impressive, in my late 30s, when I was in a different situation I was married, and life was pretty stressful. I had 3 manufacturing plants in the printing industry up the East Coast here in Australia with my husband, stepmom to his 5 children, 35 staff, and life, I'd kind of forgotten in all of that time frame who I was, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. So again, I started saying to myself, I don't want to do this, I hate this, I just want a whole lot of time out by myself. And this time what I managed to create for myself was a friend and I went to do a dance lesson, and we didn't make it. We had a horrific car accident, and the injuries I sustained in that accident left me bedridden for 12 months. So again, I attracted what I was focusing on. I wanted a whole lot of time out to be by myself, and it's exactly what I created. So that, more than any other time, and I had the time, of course, to really go, oh my God, Mel, you've done it again. Like, seriously, why don't you start using this internal power you've got to start attracting what you do want in your life instead of what you don't want? And this was all before the law of attraction really became known, and then The Secret came out. I'm sure a lot of your viewers will have seen or know about The Secret, and certainly the law of attraction. This was all kind of way before then. And so I really started to realize that, wow, we have such an incredible power within our minds. And so sort of from that time till now, all these years later, it's become my life's work. And today what I do is I'm an intuitive energy healer, I'm a life coach, soon to be an author, and I also do bioresonance therapy, which it's all energy work. But I help other people to realize that, everything that they've created in their life is because of where they've had their attention, where they've had their focus. So regardless, focus negatively, receive negative. Focus positive and you get more positive. And I've spent a lot of time and a lot of money doing all sorts of different courses, as I'm sure a lot of us have, to learn different tools and techniques and strategies to really help us to keep our vibration high, because obviously energy is about vibration. And I've realized that when we can live our lives in a high positive vibration, that's when we start to attract things that we really want. When we're down in a low negative vibration, then like attracts like. So we're going to bring more negativity into our lives. So my whole life work now is to teach people how to get out of that low level vibration and to raise themselves up and to keep it there. Because it's not just, we can all come up, life is like this, isn't it? We can all move up and down the scale on a daily basis. But really, I think the key is to learn, how do we sustain staying in a high vibration on a consistent basis? And that's what I'm all about now, is to teach people how to do this. And it's great. Now, I've created it for myself, and I'm no one special per se, you know what I mean? I'm just an ordinary person like most people. And I've created an incredible life just by using the tools and the techniques that I've developed and I've learned along the way as well to help me to do this. And when you learn these skills, and this is what all my book is about, by the way, is to teach you how to do that. Because, I see people in the clinic on a daily basis, work one-on-one with people physically, but also online now, globally, to really help educate them, to realise that, they have created their reality based on things that have happened to them in the past. So I have a capacity where we can shift, change that vibration for them, clear all the blocks from the past, and then start to put in the positive seeds of what it is that they do want and what they can start to create moving forward. Same with dis-ease and discomfort in our bodies. Most of that is connected to emotions of some sort from the past. As you now know, Tara, from the work that we do.
I mean, thank you so much again for doing that remote session with me, because I know I didn't share this with you at the beginning, but I was really skeptical. I was like, I'm in Florida, you're in Australia. How the heck are you going to feel my energy or do anything with it? And, I considered myself a pretty positive person, a pretty happy person. And there is only so much you can do. And I really like what you said about how you have to clear out what's there, especially lifetimes. I mean, we did some lifetime clearing stuff that's been with my energy for, prior to me being born, and in this lifetime, and again, something I didn't believe in, something I really didn't buy into. I'd heard of it, it sounded like a good thing, and there were certain things in my life that I couldn't quite shift and I couldn't quite get around, no matter how many meditations or manifestations or affirmations or yoga classes I did. I couldn't shift it. I couldn't align. And like, I like what you said about the consistent basis, on a consistent basis. And that I think is the key. And, you really helped me so much to not just believe in the work that you do, from Florida to Australia, thanks to the magic of technology and you. And, it is, but it's something so powerful that has now shown itself to me because of my thoughts from the past. And that's another thing you've taught me, is sometimes what you're thinking now doesn't actually show up in our life, like you just mentioned in your stories, from what led you to doing this, until down the road, so what we're thinking now appears down the road. So what is happening now, I was thinking, 6 months, 6 years ago, and that didn't click for me.
I think I found somewhere statistically that they said, a lot of really traumatic experiences that we go through takes about 3 years for it to actualize physically in our bodies. And when I thought back to my specifically my cancer initially, it was spot on for me. It was about 3 years, and I don't want to scare any of the viewers today, because thinking, oh my God, well, 3 years ago this happened, oh my God, but that does seem to be the reality. So my purpose in being is to really help people shift all this emotional stuff as quickly as we can, so that they don't have to go through the sort of experiences that I have, because they're not pleasant, and there's always consequences, with me having my thyroid completely removed. I have to survive. You can't live without a thyroid. So I am on medication and will be for the rest of my life in order to be here. And that has other consequences too, with, the medication has side effects of obesity and weight gain. And so I have to work really hard, not hard, but I have to do a lot of work to keep this body that I'm enjoying right now, which is a good thing. I'm not saying that's a negative, but you know what I mean? So there's always consequences. So I'm so passionate about helping people to unlock whatever is holding them in place. And as you said, sometimes it can be other lifetimes if you're into all that stuff. I've come up through a Christian household with Christian beliefs, and I didn't even, in Christianity, there is no such thing. We don't believe in reincarnation and other lifetimes. But with the work that I've been doing for so long now, I'm in my 12th year full time, and it's just become so obvious that we do need to tap into, even though I don't understand a lot of it, it doesn't matter. Things that have shown up for some people have been lifetimes. Sometimes it's also just generational. Sometimes we can take on our parents' energy or our grandparents or ancestors all the way down the line. And then genetically, we inherit some of the beliefs, behaviours and patterns from our family's line. So, and they can affect us in the now as well. So I have capacities where I can also clear those for people. Which is just amazing, and I'm so grateful to have been given this. I consider it a gift from God and the universe to be able to help people shift this, and to shift it with so much ease. As you know how easy it is to shift this, isn't it, Tara? Like, it's not hypnosis. It's you're purely present with me the whole time, and it works really, really fast as well. It's instant for most people. To give you an example, about you being skeptical, one of my dearest girlfriends who lives in Sydney, and she contacted me literally just, do you mind if I share it? Have we got time to share it?
Please, yeah. No, this is great. Because I think there's probably a lot of skeptics listening, I
was skeptical at first, and I'm doing all this stuff for myself thinking, how am I doing this? I know it's weird. And for a long time, I've tried to hide the fact that I do this weird stuff. But the reality is, this is what I've been gifted to do. So I've got to come out from the shadows and just go, oh, stuff it. Yeah, it's weird, but it works. And that's all that matters, and I'm helping transform lives. And that's all that matters to me. And if people think I'm weird and wacky, I don't care. It's just, I'm getting results. I'm helping people heal and transform. And that's what life's all about.
And be happy.
And happy and feel great and be happy. That's my whole purpose, to help people feel happy, feel great on a consistent basis. And then I give tools and techniques to show them how to sustain that. So, it's great. It's great. So back to my story from my girlfriend in Sydney. So she rang me a couple of weeks ago. My girlfriend is an incredible samba dancer. The samba dance, they have all the feather, the huge, great big head, what do you call them? The headpiece.
Headpiece.
The headgear and the feathers, and they do all this samba dancing with these skimpy little outfits. She's amazing. She's part of a team in Sydney, and they do these incredible performances. And she'd hurt her hip. I can't even remember how. It doesn't matter. But she was in absolute agony and could hardly walk. And she'd gone and had acupuncture. She'd gone to a chiro. She'd gone and had massage. She'd taken all sorts of pills, herbs, and I think then medication, just to try and because she could not get out of doing this performance. She was a key part of it. And in desperation, she rang me and she said, Mel, I'm desperate. I'm in so much pain with this hip. Can we do a remote? And I said, yeah, of course we can, Dale, no problems. So we organised that early Sunday morning, and she was performing that night. And anyway, so it took, I don't know, I think maybe an hour, roughly an hour with her. And I did all this clearing with her online. And that was it, and she went off. Well, she rang me Monday morning and she just said, Mel, I can't believe it. She said, I love you dearly and I love your work, but I was so skeptical, thinking, how can this work? This is ridiculous. I'm in Sydney, she's here, and we're doing this thing online. How on earth can this make any difference? But mid Sunday afternoon, she said the pain just literally just vanished completely. And she showed up at Sunburn. Of course, her teacher, she'd already told her teacher that she'd been in a lot of pain. And her teacher, when she showed up, apparently her teacher said, what are you going on about? There's nothing wrong with you. God, you're such a, there's nothing wrong with you. Is it hypocrite? Is that, anyway, whatever. Hypochondriac, maybe, whatever. But she performed beautifully, and she's absolutely had no pain. And she said, Mel, I don't know how it works, but I'm so grateful for you and she's been pain-free ever since. So I just spoke to her last night. So it works. I know it's weird, but it works. So again, I'm so grateful for social media and this technology. There's a lot of negatives about it, but these are the positives that I can now work with clients and people around the globe. As long as they've got connection, social media of some form, I can help people. Same with another lady that I did in Germany just last week. She's been down, depressed, had so many physical challenges as well as emotional, like really quite stressed and anxious. And she was doing all sorts of things over in Germany. And then she heard about, through a friend of mine, she heard about what I do, and she connected with me, and we did a 1-hour Zoom call. And she messaged me the next morning and just said, Mel, I'm a completely different person. I don't get it. I don't understand. She said even the pain I can't remember where she had, stomach, or I think shoulder. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the physical, foot, she had massive pain in her foot that she'd gone to podiatrists, she's gone to see different people over. No one was able to heal this foot. I think it was her foot and it was her shoulder. Anyway, but she said completely pain-free. The swelling in the foot had completely gone overnight. And she said, I don't even feel like the same person, like that the cloud, the heaviness, the fogginess is completely gone. And she said, I feel like I'm just so free. There was a real sense of freedom for her. So yeah, I'm just so blessed to be able to do this work for people, Tara. And obviously for ones that are closer by, they can physically come in and I can put them on I use a device that comes out of Germany, the original bioresonance therapy from Germany. And the machine itself is amazing. It can diagnose where energy is blocked in the body, and then it treats to assist to remove those blockages for people. And then I work with the emotional as well. So it's like 2 treatments for the time and price of one, which is brilliant. But I'm just so grateful that for a lot of people now I can still help them, and help them physically too, by working online with them. Makes all the difference.
Wait to read your new book. I'm so excited. I know it's coming, and we're going to have a launch party soon.
Thank you. So the book, I've called it Vibe Up Your Life because it's all about raising our vibration, right? So it is a story. It's a book around my personal stories, of which now roughly I've told you 2. There's a lot of stories in there, positive ones as well, how to create what you want by using the tools and techniques that I'm showing you in the book. So yes, every chapter is kind of stories, and then I'm giving you exercises, tools, strategies, techniques that have worked for me that I'm still using myself today to really help you to create the life, living a reality that you really desire, deserve, and I know that you can create it. It's just a matter of rewiring us, changing some of those things in the past that have stopped us, that have limited us. And obviously, for those of you that have tried a lot of different things, and you know that there's something holding you back, you don't even need to know what it is. This is this capacity that I have, this intuitive side that I have, that I'll just hone in, and I just need to see your body, and I can hone in, and your body's going to tell me anyway exactly what it is, and we clear it. So, but for those that, I'm hoping that that's the purpose of the book. And the reason that I'm doing the book was because for years, in a clinic setting, I'm speaking to my clients and telling them my stories that relate to what's going on for them. And so many of them over the years have said, oh my God, Mel, you're an inspiration. You should write a book about it. So that's how the book's come about, simply because of so many clients have encouraged me to write it. So it's finally coming. It's with the editor right now. I'm having a meeting with her and my publisher on Friday. So it's getting really close. I'm getting very excited now. And as soon as I have more information as to when it's going to be released, I will certainly be putting that information on my website, my social media pages. And then I think, Tara, we're going to do a launch, aren't we?
Absolutely. We're going to celebrate that. Now, your website is Vivacity. That's VIVACITI.com.au. Vivacity. And that is your business in the Gold Coast. And then also Melanie Young, obviously, on Facebook.
Young, as in young opposite to old.
Yeah. Young, not old. Melanie. And,
Yes.
and and why don't you tell us a little bit about the name Vivacity, how you came up with that? Because I know I love your logo, and you've explained the
Thank
story
you.
behind
Yeah,
that
can
with
you
the
see?
hearts.
This is my
So
little heart.
cute.
Cute, isn't it? Yeah.
I love
Well,
it.
I've had the name Vivacity now for how many years have I had it now? I think I'm in my 3rd year of having Vivacity. So prior to that, it was actually Into Harmony Health Services was originally when I started as what I called the business. And after about 10 years, it just didn't resonate with me anymore. And because I wasn't, yes, I was helping people to people would come to see me all the time, still do, and they go, Mel, I just want to be happy. I'm just so sick of feeling this way. I just want to be happy. And that's easy for me. I can help people to feel happy and get their body feeling amazing again. But I wanted to take it further than that. I want people to live with vivacity and excitement and energy, and to wake up every day just feeling so happy and excited to be alive as to what they can create each day. So Into Harmony Health Services kind of, to me, was that, again, it was sitting kind of, it didn't have that high level vibration. That was what I really wanted to bring to people, and that's kind of how I live my life. I'm always around, what can I do today to create something? I love to play, I love to have fun. I love my business, but I'm all about what can I do today to really raise my vibration, to have fun, to play, to connect with people. That's what my whole life is about. So, because so many people have forgotten how to do that, haven't they, Tara? People forget how to have fun. People forget that life is here to be enjoyed and to play, because life's become so heavy and hard and a challenge for people. And I think so many people make the rules for happiness really difficult for them. They always say to me, oh, when this happens, then I'll be happy. Or, once this shifts, then I help people to change that. You've got to make the rules really easy for you to enjoy the life living now, because we've only got the now. If we don't have tomorrow, we're not sure if tomorrow and the past is finished. We have the present, which is now. So I'm really all about, I live my life in the now. Certainly I consider, I look for the future, but I'm more focused on enjoying every day now. So that's what this book is all about as well. And my website, my business name, Vivacity, purely came about for that, because I want that energy, that high vibration in the name Vivacity. Vivacity actually means to be energized, to live in that higher level vibration, to have fun, to play. That's what Vivacity is all about. And that's what I want to bring to people, to help them to create that. And obviously I'm all about love and color. And so that's why this, and in fact, this logo is actually, it's a combination of things. I don't think I've even shared this with you, Tara, but I'll do it now just really quickly. So yes, it's a love heart, because I'm all about heart. I love connecting with people. It's kind of like a little smile in there as well. And it's also to show that, I work with women and I work with men.
Oh,
it's a little bit of fun, but I work a lot with men. I love working with men, and because, hey, look, men, hey?
I can see that now.
Yeah, it's subtle. It's very subtle until I pointed out that it's not subtle at all. But look, I just love working with men, because I have a real soft spot for men. They take on so much. A lot of men these days, and right from little children, little boys, they're told to step up, be the man. They fall over and scrape their knee and they start to cry. And I don't know about, well, it's probably in America too, not so much Europe. They're a bit more sensitive, the guys in Europe, but certainly here in Australia, and they'll get a little bit of a stop crying, stop it, So boys are learned at a very early age to suppress their emotions, aren't they? And then they grow up and they're taught that they've got to be the man, they've got to look after the family. And so they take on a lot, and they suppress and they suppress and they suppress, and they take on more and more and they suppress. And the amount of men that I've helped get over depression is huge, because guys need an outlet. They need to be able to express what's going on, to release it, because the amount of guys that I see in here that have all kinds of ulcers, they have prostate cancer, they have problems with their livers, they have problems with pancreas. Like, there is a lot of depression, a lot of stress and anxiety that I see men with. because they're not coping, you know, and especially now with women, you know, we're stepping up on the whole, aren't we? You know, we're stepping into our power now. The role of men is changing, and a lot of them have lost their purpose. They don't know what their purpose in the relationship and in the family is anymore. So I've really helped the men to regain their power and their confidence, to help them to find their place in the relationship as it is now in today's world, but to release all this stuff that's really holding them down and out. So, yeah, so that's just my subtle little men talk.
I love it. That's amazing. And you know, one of the things that came to me when you were sharing your journey about the name, you know, from being Vivacity now, from Into Harmony, it reminded me of the earlier story about the journey that it's been. So maybe you had to go into harmony in order to get to Vivacity.
Absolutely. This was part of my own journey. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I had to, you know, I've come up through a life of a lot of abuse that I've had through my younger years. And you know, I went through a lot of years where I had body image issues. I absolutely hated myself. So I had to come to that space and place where I found peace and harmony for me, and then started to learn to love me for who I am. And it's taken a long time. You know, I've had a lot of, and all of this is in the book. You know, I'm sharing everything. Nothing's hidden. And my journey is through the book, and you'll see it as it progresses, you know. So I love my life now. I love everything about my body, my life, me. And this is such a big part of what I do with people too, because so, and unfortunately this is where social media isn't great for us, is we compare ourselves to so many other people, don't we? That the comparisons, the judgments, you know, we look at people on social media and go, oh, well, my life doesn't look like that. Why don't I have a body looking like that? And so much of it is perception. A lot of it's not real anyway. People don't put things up on social media that they don't want us to know what's really going on. Right? And then with all the photoshopping, and we can change the whole shapes and looks of bodies these days. Technology is incredible. Doesn't mean it's real. So I've really, and people come in all the time, and they're constantly comparing themselves and judging themselves, you know, to other people. And I have to tell them, you know, stop. You've got to let all that go. This is your life. You're individual. You're unique. Just be you. Allow you to come out. Allow you to create the life that you want. Stop trying to be like everybody else wants you to be. Stop doing what everybody else wants you to do. Come back to who you are and what you want to do. Because so much of our life is lived, you know, we're like sponges, you know, we're born and we're soaking up information, you know, whoever looked after us, our carers when we were young, parents or whoever that was. And we're taught through their own perception of what life is, and their beliefs and their behaviours and their habits are all ingrained into us. And we soak all this up, and then we think that that's who we are. That's us, right? But so much of the time as you get older, you start to realise, well, hang on. And so many people say this, oh my God, I'm just like my mother, you know, or oh my God, I've turned into my father, or, you know, they can see behaviours or traits that is from a relative. And it makes sense, because we just soak up, we learn from them. And then as we get older, we take information in from our peers, our friends, and then we take it in from work colleagues, religion, big one, a lot of rules and regulations around religions, and they put their beliefs, you know, into us. A lot of fear, unfortunately, with a lot of religion, isn't it? You know, and telling us that we're all, you know, sinners, and that, you know, all of this. Don't get me started on religion, but anyway.
Yeah, that's for another podcast.
That's a whole other.
That's a whole show talking about theological doctrines and metaphysical phenomenon. I mean, we could talk about that for hours.
Exactly. But we take it all on, right? And then we think that this is who we are. But what I help to do is to break down all those barriers, to pull out all those beliefs, behaviours, those traits that actually aren't theirs, to allow who you really are to come out and shine. Yeah. Because we're all unique, we're all individual, and we're all here to live our own life. We're not all here to be the Oprah Winfreys or the Anthony Robbins or the Richard Bransons of this world. You know, some of us are here just to be the best mother that we can be, or the best gardeners that we can be, or the most amazing cooks. And, you know, we all have our unique purpose and our unique talents. So we've got to stop comparing ourselves to everybody else, and allow us to be who we really are. But to do that, one does have to do a little bit of work on ourselves. We have to clear out all that stuff from the past, which again, all that's in the book that's coming up, so that we can then really start to dig deep and go, well, yeah, well, once I've cleared all that out, who am I? Who am I right now? And what is it that I really do desire moving forward? So that we can start to bring in, ask and you shall receive is a big component of what I talk about in the book and in general. Because, it is from the Bible, ask and you shall receive in Matthew 7:7. And it is a truth in the Bible. But we've never been taught how to ask, have we? We're not, I went to church all of my childhood and into my adult. I don't ever remember any of the people that were there teaching me to ask. In fact, quite the opposite. It was all about giving all the time. So I teach people how to ask for what it is that they want, and how to do it, and then detach from the outcome and allow, be open to receive and allow. And that's another big component of what I do, because people generally in my experience with people, they're not open. They're broken. So they're closed, they're constricted. So what I help people do is to open up, to feel safe, feel protected, to know that God's got their back, God, universe, whatever you believe in, has got their back. But it's also teaching people to have your own back. Yeah. It's time that we now take back our power, males and females, take back our power and have our own backs and stop comparing and judging with everybody else and start to create the life that you really want. Nobody else, is just you. And for a lot of people, they just look at me blankly when I say that, because they've got no idea. They've got no idea what they want for themselves. They've spent their whole life focusing on their children, or being the best wife, or the husband, or the kids, or the parents, or the grandparents. They've got all the work, spending ridiculous amounts of hours working for somebody else, helping make money for them. And they're miserable. So it's just an opportunity to really wake people up to start to be aware of thinking about what it is that they want, because this isn't a dress rehearsal. This is our life. And every day is one day less. And none of us know exactly when we're leaving this planet. That's up to, universe, God. God's the only one that has that information. So we have to live each day the best we can. And I'm no different to anybody else. I have highs and I have lows, but I have the tools to be able to shift out of those lows really quickly, because obviously with the work I do, I'm empath as well. Empath is people that are like sensitives. They can take on other people's energy. I can walk into a shop and instantly walk in feeling fantastic, and within minutes I'm feeling down and flat and heavy, because I've taken on somebody else's energy that was either in the shop or was in and then left. So I have to then clear that out for me. And again, I teach you all how to do that in the book, so that we can keep our vibration high and keep ourselves protected from those lower level energies. I'm sure we've all done it, right?
And not knowing what it was, not knowing what was happening.
Exactly. It's like, why 1 minute ago I was feeling fantastic, and now all of a sudden I'm feeling like crap. Why? What happened? So I explain all that in the book as well, and how you can shift that in a heartbeat.
Oh, I can't wait to read the book.
Thank you. I know it.
In the meantime, though, I know we have more sessions scheduled. So, I have you one-on-one, and other people have the opportunity and availability to do that. They're reaching out to you on your website, and I highly, highly recommend it. You touched on a couple things that really, mattered a lot to me about, just knowing what you want, deciding who you are. But I think the message that you have always, exemplified without even saying it, is that the battle that you win starts here.
Absolutely.
And once you master the internal, it shows in the external.
100%. 100%.
And that's been something that you have really kind of, just nailed into me, driven home for me. And I so appreciate that, because you haven't done it in any other way, but in a exemplary way, because you are living it. Yeah. And I love that. And I'm being a bit cheeky now, and I know we keep talking about the book, but maybe you could give us a little tool or sneak peek that you could share with people, so they can maybe take that away from this and apply it to their life. And because I think also, you know, for me, I didn't believe in the magic till I saw it start working. So if there's something that, and you can say no, I totally understand. But I just thought, you know, the more people that are watching that can take something away from this, apply it to their life and start to see the magic, and then call you up and book their own session and read their book, read your book when it comes out. And then I know we have a retreat in Fiji coming. We have so much cool stuff that I don't even want to, you know, go into. They just got to keep up with you on online, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so, you know, I talked about how we can, let's finish with this. So, because I did mention before about how we can take on other people's energy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. We take on, it can be other things, but generally it's other people's energy. And we can feel fantastic, and all of a sudden we're feeling like, ugh, what happened? So it's just a really, really simple tool, and it's just literally returning to sender. It's so simple. So it's no different to like when, you know, when we get mail, we receive mail, and it's addressed to somebody else. What do? We write, well, I'm assuming you do that over there. We do it here.
Yeah, RTS.
We write on it, RTS, return to sender, right? And we then give it back to the post office, and we don't know what happens to it after that. But that's a physical exchange of giving back something, right? So this is an energetic, it's exactly the same. It's an energetic exchange of, oh my God, you've just downloaded all this barragement at me, or this abuse, negativity, whatever, because sometimes people are, you know, there's a lot of it around, unfortunately, at the moment, isn't there, where there's a lot of abuse happening. And it comes at you, right? And you take it on board. Or like I said before, you literally walk into a shop or a mall or wherever, and all of a sudden your energy's changed from up here, and all of a sudden you're feeling flat, right? So you literally can just say in your mind's eye, all that this is, return to sender. Now, for some reason, when I do it, this hand automatically does this. It's kind of like pushing it. And I think it's just my body's way of, it's almost like it's grabbing it out of my, and it's pulling it, just pushing it out. Return to sender. That, you don't have to do this to work, everybody. It's just, I don't know.
Good though.
It does. It's kind of like you're grabbing it and pushing it away. But if you're in the middle of a shopping centre walking like this, they'll probably think there's
return to sender.
You probably get locked up. They'll probably think, oh, she's a loony, what she's doing. But you can either say it out loud, return to sender, return to sender, return to sender, or you can just, like I said, if you are by yourself, just when the person's left you or whatever, just return to sender, not my monkey, basically. I mean, you don't have to say not my monkey. But you know how sometimes they say talk to the hand, you know, you put the hand out there, talk to the hand, it's not my issue, you know, talk to the hand. It's just a different way of doing it. So it's just return to sender. And I just repeat it, return to sender, return to sender, return to sender. That feels better. And you'll literally feel the energy shift. It's that simple. Just return to sender. All right?
I love it.
So that's one really easy way of just clearing the energy of what other people have got around you. The other thing that I'll give you another one.
Okay.
just so that you can then heighten yourself as well. And this one's, you know, is also another one that I use, just the radiant white light, where again, if I know that I've got to go to a meeting or something, and I need to know that I'm protected from the different energies that are going to be there. And even sometimes I'll usually do this when clients are first coming, if I haven't seen them before and I don't know what's coming, just to keep myself protected, I suppose. I'll just visualize my crown. So we've all got chakras, 7 chakras. So the crown chakras here, it's just energy points in the body. Just visualize in your mind's eye the crown opening up, and just see in your mind's eye, for me, it's pure white, like beautiful white light that's just coming down and then into the crown and just literally melting through the whole of my body, almost like warm white milk, if you like. And mine's kind of a bit sparkly with gold flecks in it. It's lovely. I just see that. I feel that just coming through every single part of my body, just filling me up all the way through and then down into the ground. And then I just expand it out so that it sort of sits about here. Can you see that? So that I'm completely surrounded by radiant white light. And that just is this, and all the way around, right the way around me. And it just gives me that real sense of protection, but I'm also connected. It's like it's a real beautiful way of connecting you to source energy. which is
like being that pillar of light. So it starts from connecting inside and then expanding out.
And just expanding it out so that you've just got this beautiful, real sense of protection all around you. I love doing that. It just, I don't know, it's just for me personally, I just then know that I am protected on every level and I'm connected to source. It's my kind of way of connecting in. So you could do the whole return to sender and then protect, but usually I'll protect myself when I get up in the morning. First thing I'll do is it takes 2 seconds, done. And then that keeps my energy high all day as well.
And I know we've talked about this in the past, but also like that morning routine is super important, isn't it? Like to really protect your energy, to visualize your intentions in your day. And, what would you say is the key, but besides that, for framing your day in a way that is really energetically aligned? Because I know we can get just one thing can knock us off track and that's
Absolutely. It. Absolutely. Look, it just depends. Like everybody's got their own unique thing that they like to do. And then some people don't do anything at all. For me personally, I just love to start my day. Like I said, I in bed, the first thing I do is I always just actually go and get a hot water with lemon, ginger and apple cider vinegar with honey in it. That's just a way that I can cleanse my body physically. First thing in the morning on an empty stomach it's a really, really great thing to start to do. It doesn't have to be hot water, but that just works for me. So hot water, fresh lemon juice, teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, raw organic honey if you can, and if you wanted to, you can just put a little of raw ginger in. It's beautiful. Just a really lovely way of just energizing your physical body. And I normally just sit in bed and have that, and then I'll just close my eyes. Like I said, I'll just do that process of just feeling that whole light. And then I just generally ask, I just sort of say, okay, what magic can I create today?
Yeah.
It's just a simple question. Ask and you shall receive, right? So what can I create today? Who needs my assistance today? What can I do to feel amazing today? Show me some magic today, universe.
Your magic.
Just magic. I love magic, and I know that if I ask for it, guess what? I'm going to receive it.
It happens.
And then for me personally, the best way to raise my vibration is to move my body. 100%. The first thing, so I have the drink, see the white light, ask my question, and then I'm fortunate. I've got a beautiful golden retriever. He needs walking, so I walk first thing in the morning for about an hour every morning. Health, doesn't matter what the weather is, we do it. Because that just physically gets my whole body moving, which raises your vibration. And I love, for me personally, I just love getting into nature. I don't listen to headphones. Like I know, you see people walking and they've got the headphones listening to their music, whatever, and that's fine. That works for them. But for me personally, I just want to really tap into source, tap into nature. I just find that I can really focus on the trees and the sky and listen to the sounds of the birds and whatever else is going on. And that just always sets my day up perfectly for me, And then I normally go to the gym after that and just go like crazy. But because I've already got everything else in place to then have an amazing gym session. Because they reckon that the fastest way to combat depression is to move your body.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Build up a sweat. So not
and
that I have.
You've got a rockin' bod.
Hey?
And you've got a rockin' bod.
Oh, you're so sweet. I wouldn't go that far.
Every time I see your arms, I'm like, I must do more push-ups.
Yeah, I do like the weights a bit, I must say. I'm a bit of a weight junkie.
No, you're a fantastic person, and you're, like I said in the very beginning, you are magic. You have been magic. You have demonstrated magic. You have been an example of magic. And every interaction I've had with you has always uplifted me. And, to be able to share your story and to be able to do this and broadcast this and give people the tools and encourage them to get your book when it comes out, to join the launch for it, and pre-order, to just connect with you at your website, vivacity.com.au, to find Melanie Young on Facebook. Any way they can do it, I highly recommend, that they get a little bit of magic Melanie Young in their life. And I think for me,
And just also too, if they do that, just to give me a little private message just to say that you listen to this so that I know that you found me through this vehicle.
Yeah, because you're going to do a special launch party just for the podcast listeners, aren't you?
I am.
And I'll be there.
Yeah. So, yeah, let me know that you came through this source, and, yeah, little surprise for you.
I love it. I love surprises and magic. And I think the other thing, too, that I really just can't stress enough is the importance of these remote online sessions with you, and how anybody anywhere with an internet connection can change their life. Unless you're some kind of saint floating around, you have energy weighing you down, and you can actually help them identify it and remove it. And I think it's for everyone, you know. And as a marketing person, I'm always like, narrow it down, who can you help, you know. And you are genuinely one of those people that can help everyone.
Oh, thank you. I'd like to help everyone. Ooh, that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of energy.
It takes 1 hour. Honestly, most people that I've worked with only need the one session. 1 hour, change their lives. So it's just, at the end of the day, it just comes down to choice. You know, what do you want? What kind of a life do you really want to live? Do you want to just spend an hour with me and let's just get this sorted, or not? It's choice. You get to choose.
And I think people wouldn't be hearing this message, and they wouldn't still be on our podcast and our broadcast right now if they didn't need this answer and need this solution in their life. I really believe in that. You know, you have reminded me of that magnetism, that, you know, not just the law of attraction, but that, you know, that each message that we hear and each person that's placed in front of us is for a reason. And it's been such a dynamic experience working with you the last few months. I mean, when did we meet? Back in a few months ago. It's about 5 months, I think, now.
Is it 5 months? Oh, yeah, it would be. Yeah, 5 months. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, it's been such a journey. We have so much coming in 2020. I'm so thrilled to share, you know, your magic with more people. And I think doing things like this gives us an opportunity to just help as many people as possible. And you mentioned, you know, Tony Robbins and Oprah and Branson earlier, and you said not everybody can be them. But the great thing about them is that they were facilitators. They were servants, you know, and they still are, obviously, but, you know, they did things to help other people have music and tell stories and, you know, unleash their own power with it and all that. And I feel like you are definitely right up there with those people. And I hope that we can expand your message, and I can't wait to read your book. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Yes, no, that's a lovely compliment. Thank you, Tara. That's beautiful. Yes, no, the book's going to be great. So yeah, as soon as I'm having a meeting this Friday, so as soon as I've got more information, I'll be getting it out there for everybody. Don't you worry about that.
I love it. So keep in touch. Yeah, high five up your life. I'm looking forward to our next remote session, the book, all the good stuff coming. Is there anything you want to leave our listeners with today? Mostly me.
No, just what I always say, you know, just really start to be aware of what you're focusing on. Really start to wake up to realize what you're focusing on, because whatever you're focusing on is what you're attracting. So if you don't like what you're focusing on, please change what you're focusing on, because then you can create a completely different life, basically.
Just by catching your thoughts, you mean? Like if you're thinking, I don't have enough, change your thoughts.
Just change the thoughts to what you do want and stop focusing on what you don't want, because either way you're going to get it. So you may as well start focusing on what you do want and let go of everything you don't want. Just keep focusing on what you do want. And don't worry about how it's going to show up. That's not your responsibility to know how it's going to show up. You just got to ask for what it is that you want and start to get really clear on what it is that you want and move forward towards that and stop living in the past, because you can't move forward looking in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, and you know what? For me, clarity was the biggest problem. And I had to ask for clarity. I had to ask for the wisdom around that, because I had shiny object syndrome, still do. You know, like, ooh, look at this new thing over here. And like you, I've spent a small fortune on coaching, on courses, on all kinds of stuff that I thought was going to help me. It was actually a waste of money, you know, and lessons in itself. You know, I think to even just ask for the clarity, you know, and to be able to do that through working with you and not realizing what I was doing at the time, and how I was clearing all that stuff so I could actually have that clarity, and things started popping up, images started coming in my mind, things started happening, and I was just like, whoa.
Well, I
So
think people just get so busy in living their lives, you know, especially if they've got children, and, you know, life can get so busy, but you put everything that you want to the side, and then over time you forget completely. It's like when I had, you know, I had the 3 printing companies and the 35 staff, and it was also a stepmom to 5 children. I completely forgot who I was in all of that. There wasn't time to look at me or think about what I wanted. I was too busy focusing on everything else that I had to do and be for everybody else. And that's when I just got to the point where you know, as I said, you know, I just didn't want to do it anymore. I started to hate and resent my life. And of course, gave myself the car accident as a consequence. So I don't want people, you don't have to do that. You don't have to go down the path that I went down before you start to realize, wow, you know, you can start right now. You know, it's creating some time for yourself. You're worth it. You've got to create it, but you've got to have your own back to realize, yeah, I am worth it. And to schedule it, to make some time somehow. And again, all this is explained how to do this in the book, but to make some time for yourself. It's imperative to sit down with a pen and paper and just sit down and think, if I could do anything, if I could, what is it you really want? What is it you really want? You know, who do you really want to be? And it doesn't have to be, you know, huge. It can just be simple. It can be simple, you know, but just spend some time with figuring out who you are and what it is that you really would like to have for your life. And then I'll show you how to do it.
I love it. I love it. I think I was recently sharing with you, a friend of mine was in a plane that started to go down, and the oxygen in the cabin went away, so the masks came down. And, you know, it was that, you know, put your own mask on first scenario, but it was also real life, you know, this could be the end. This is it. And so she started recording a video for her husband, you know, all the things she would say to her husband and her 3-year-olds and her 6-year-old, because she thought they would go to the cloud and, you know, and they would be able to see it. And she started recording this message. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. But, you know, she shared that with me. She goes, when your life flashes before your eyes, what is the lessons that you want to share? What are the things that you want to say to the people that you love when you don't know how much time you have left? She goes, don't wait till your plane is crashing, you know? Don't wait till you don't have your health anymore. Don't wait until you can't, you know, you don't have a thyroid anymore. You know, don't wait until then.
And that's what I said, you know, none of us know the day we're leaving this planet, but I can guarantee every single one of us are. Absolutely. You know, we all have an end date. So don't leave it until, and again, there's a chapter in my book where I'm talking about, well, I'm not talking about, I've put it in there for people because there was a beautiful nurse here in Australia who, she worked in the palliative care, and she asked the patients, you know, just before they died, what are your 5 greatest regrets? And it's all there, you know, I've put it all in the book for people, because you don't want to wait until you're in your deathbed and have regret when you leave this planet. You know, if there's people that you want to speak your truth, you know, talk to people. If you love someone, tell them regularly. You know, just as you were saying, you know, don't leave everything until when this happens, I'm going to do this, because that may not happen. You know, my girlfriend, one of my dearest girlfriends, you know, that her and her husband were working 7 days a week with their business, with the plan that when they retired, they were going to then go traveling and see the world. Well, he had a massive heart attack at 52, died, gone, out of the blue, gone. So 52. So they didn't even get the chance to do any traveling together. You know, it was too late for him, you know, and literally one weekend he was gone, just like that. So it's, and so she missed out on all those wonderful opportunities and things that they were going to do together, because they thought, well, we'll just keep working like crazy until such time as we can retire, which was going to be in about 10 years' time or something. Plan for the future, but live now. Live now.
And that's one of the things that's always connected us, is our passion to presence in the present moment and the now, you know, and that's always been, both of us have always said, you know, I think that's how we actually started talking. It was like, I believe in the power of now too. And, you know, we really connected over that, because that's all we have is this moment. Yeah.
And, you know, we're coming up to Christmas. So, you know, it's big, really big here in Australia to celebrate Christmas. You guys have your Thanksgiving. It's more relevant, I think, isn't it? But,
well, Thanksgiving and then Christmas is always a big one, you know, but Thanksgiving, is when people, I think, are more grateful, hopefully.
Right. regardless, it's the festive season, you know,
Yes.
worldwide. So it's a perfect time to really, you know, I love, it's probably Easter's my favourite time of year, but Christmas is my second most favourite time of year because of the energy that's generally around Christmas. You know, everything's heightened. You know, you get to go back into your childhood feelings. You bring out all the decorations, the Christmas trees. You go and see all the sparkly lights. Like, people are generally naturally on a high if you don't get caught up in the whole commercial side of Christmas, which I don't, and enjoy it. Whereas a lot of people get so stressed and anxious around Christmas, whereas because they're caught up in the whole commercial side. Whereas if you look at Christmas for what it really is, it's all about, you know, love and connection with your loved ones. And I always use Christmas as a time of reflection to see, you know, wow, this whole year, you know, and it's been a tough year this year, you know, for a lot of people. There's been so many highs and lows this year across the board. So a real mixed bag this year. So I think 2020 is going to be, it's a totally different energy coming into 2020. A lot of exciting things are going to happen for people in 2020. So now's the perfect time to really start to think about, okay, I want to tap into that energy that's coming. What do I need to do for myself right now so that I can really maximize 2020 to my advantage?
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, you know, people definitely need to start booking. I know you're really busy, but people need to start booking with you now because the effects take some time to show up. So if you want to hit the ground running in 2020, you know, now's the time to book an appointment with you wherever you are in the world, because it didn't happen. You know, a lot of it was instantaneous, but then the side effects kind of momentum picked up, and it was like, oh, and there was one day I just felt like I was, you know, like a bunny just hopping around, like just springing a step, you know, and it was like, what's going on here, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, sometimes there's layers for people too, you know, like a lot of people get one session's enough. Some people might need a couple because it's layers, you know, things, I get one layer out and then all of a sudden something even deeper comes up. But for the majority of people, one session is usually enough. Just depends.
I love it. I love it. I'm so grateful for you, for the work you do. I can't wait to read your book, Vibe Up Your Life by Melanie Young.
Thank
and
you.
To continue to spread magic throughout the world. Let's do it.
I'm doing the little bit that I can, and yeah, very excited for the book because, you know, then I can expand it and get it out to the greater world, hopefully.
Exactly.
Those that are meant to read it will resonate and they'll find it. Yeah.
Exactly what we were talking about earlier. If you're listening to this, now is the time to visit vivacity.com.au or find Melanie Young on Facebook and connect. Absolutely. I think that is, you wait for an onslaught of people that are going to be like, I have a podcast, I want my special edition.
I'll fit them in somewhere, don't you worry, I'm ready. No, I'm excited for what's coming, and I can feel there's definitely a shift of energy happening. You know, I can feel it. I'm excited. It's like it's building. The energy's building for 2020. So, the more people I can help that can tap into that, the better.
And speaking of energy building, and I wasn't going to bring this up because it's so sad, but maybe if you're listening, let's pray for rain for Australia. Because I know we have a lot of fires happening there right now and a lot of destruction, and you know, I really feel like, you know, if we can put some energy out there to heal that what's going on. I mean, when you told me about the koalas dying and all the terrible stuff, I know I hate to end it on a sad note, but I just really think if people could uplift and bring that energy of rain and of prayer towards Australia, because they're not showing it here in America. You know, I didn't even know about it until you shared that with me.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's catastrophic is how they're labeling it at the moment, because basically New South Wales and Queensland is on fire, basically. So it's really, really sad time, and all our poor firemen are exhausted, and now they're bringing in firemen from Canada and America to come and help us as well, because they're all out of control. And yeah, it's just so sad. People are losing their homes. I think we're up to 500, something like that, homes have gone now, and people have lost everything, and the wildlife, the koalas, is what's really, really upsetting, because they get trapped, they can't get out. So yeah, prayers for rain, please, would be wonderful. Wonderful.
Prayers for
we need a lot of rain.
Yeah. I'm gonna go do a rain dance right now. I can't
thank you.
I love your top.
I'm going to just say I love your sparkly top. It's like magical in itself.
Right? I wore this because it does remind me of magic.
You must be cold over there. We're so hot here. It's crazy.
It's so cold. Now it's 55 degrees Fahrenheit in Florida, so you'll see people walking around in winter coats, but you know, 'cause it's usually about 75 to 85 all the time. So, and I mean, I've got my flannel sheets out. I'm cold. And I hope
so yeah, there you go.
because it's summer in Australia in the lower hemisphere.
Yeah. No, well, it's not even summer's December. Summer starts in December, but our summer started so early this year. We're really worried about what summer's going to bring because all these fires now, and it's not even summer. But we'll just keep praying for rain.
Yes, prayers for you, prayers for rain, and thank you so much for all you do. Really looking forward to what's next, and see you on Facebook and your website, Jack.
Thank you so much, Tara. Thanks for having me on. It's been really fun. I've enjoyed it.
Oh, thanks, Magic Mel. You're the best.
God bless.
God bless.
See you later.